Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 114 SP2. It's a tier 10 Chinese turreted tank destroyer. It's located on the south spawn of Overlord, and this one is under the command of marke12, and he's got Arty as his teammate, his platoon mate, and he's an ST2. Game on. Well, this is a reward tank destroyer. It's got a 152mm gun as its main armament, capable of doing 650 alpha. It's got fairly heavy armour at the front of the turret. It's 135mm. Other than that, I don't know much about it. No, I've got the stats in front of me, obviously. And it's got a reload time of 13.81 seconds. And we can see here that Marky's got 11.59. It's a reward tank, I did say that, so it's tier 10. Very rare to have a tier 10 tank that's not a reward that you can obtain, that's a premium. Kind of unusual as well, having this form of Chinese tank destroyer. Still waiting for Wargaming to introduce the Chinese SPGs, but there again, they haven't really introduced any lines of SPGs, even though they said that they were going to do that. We were promised that there was going to be an Italian line and a Japanese line. We're still waiting for the Japanese tank destroyers, for that matter. In fact, there's a massive number of tank destroyers that the Japanese did produce, but most of them probably would be down in the lower tier level. Oh, he's been spotted. Oh no, he spotted someone. What he spotted is that, which is a type, I think it's a type 4. No, it's a type 5. And he pumps it straight through the weak spot on the shoulders at the side of the vehicle. And oh my gum, it's a fire. It's a massive fire there. Tries for a second one, but he doesn't get it in because it just didn't hit the hard armour. Or the soft armour, I should say. There's a specific point on the sides of a Type 5 and a Type 4 for that matter, where it's fairly easy to get through, and it's kind of on the shoulders over where the tracks normally are in the hull, and that's where you should be aiming for. Yeah, Type 5's moved behind that rock now, and our Object 277's having a bit of difficulty, but you can see Arty is actually up close on the bunker, and he's being targeted by the Arty, so I suspect that the only Arty on the enemy team, which happens to be a Conqueror gun carriage, is probably located down on the beach, or at least he might be. Over that, he saw Arty and thought, oh yes, I'll definitely have that ST2. I wouldn't be surprised to see another round hit him. ST2s are rather OP though, that's the thing. Now, can he get a shot out here without falling over the edge? Well, he might be able to get a bit closer. No, he hasn't got a shot. But he might get one on these guys now. Yes. Oh, no, he didn't get that one in. He's firing the AP at the moment. Now, the APs, I did mention, actually, have got 273mm. At least I thought I did. Oh, well, that overmatched the hull on that Striv 103B, but it is a 152mm round, so yes, he didn't need much to overmatch it. It's done a fair bit of damage to him. Now he's being careful here because he's on a high cliff looking down on the enemy. When you do that, it's fairly easy for the enemy to get a shot into your lower plate. Now he did that well, because he actually got it the moment the Striv went to siege mode. And he managed to avoid a shot from the Striv, but he did take a round from a Progetto 65, and now the enemy Arty misses him. Good. That's excellent, because Conqueror gun carriages do take long to reload, so that Arty is actually now in a bit of a problem. But so is Marky, because it means that the enemy tanks are now coming up the chines, and that's why he asked for help. Quite rightly so, because he doesn't want to be here and caught between two enemies. In fact, there's one of them coming up the chine now, but he's actually aiming back, and oh, just nukes that T125. He's out the game, just one shot. And now we've got a Cranvarn, and our teammate, oh, Cranvarn died. The Batchat 25 time got him. I can't feel sorry about that, actually. Okay. Hello, Mr. 268. Ouch! That hurt. He gets a pen on that one for 721, which is a high roll. And now he's got another one. And, oh, is that a gorilla? It looked like a gorilla. I suppose if it quacks like a duck, it is a duck. But if that's a gorilla, that's going to be a very tasty morsel for him. There's no armor on the gorilla. Oh, there's no armor on that M454 now. He's out the game as well. So 2 kills now for Marky. And he is anonymized, but the enemy will look at the fact that he's in a 114 SP2 and will instantly know he's the top player, because these are only handed out to the very best. Now he's trying to side scrape on that enemy there. Hello! And then another 268 bites the dust. He did get spotted. Okay, so the enemy Arty might try. He's down to 4 tanks on his team, and now he's facing 2 enemies, including somebody he didn't want to meet. That was the Strip 103B, but he sorted him out with 1 round, and now he's got to face the enemy. What's it? What's this one coming up? It's an E100. Well, it was an E100. It's no more. It's back in the garage anyway. Okay, Viz 55. Now this is going to be a different problem because the guy's got plenty of hit points. We lost all our teammates, most of our teammates, including iDuck. He got taken out a while back. Okay, can we get shots on these guys? Yes, we can. Well, he's back in the garage. That's the Type 5H that we hit earlier. He decided to go down to the beach and make his way round. Didn't really work. And that's a Top Gun for Marky. Okay, how many more has he got to kill? There's 4 enemies left to kill. That was a Jaeger. Unfortunately, it actually hit the upper plate, so I don't think he's going to get that one through, but there are still enemies that he can penetrate. And he's got the rear of the Jaeger there. If he backs up a little, they can't get that guy. He's in the bowl. But he pops up out of the bowl. That's a low roll, 617. Okay. Poking out, and yes, he's got the side of the vehicle, and yes, he does get that one through. 590, which is a low roll, makes it easier for the Batchat 25 ton. The same guy who got the Cranvarn, who can now get behind the Jaeger and give him what for. Get behind him, behind him. I do wonder sometimes. Actually, he's not behind him. He's actually in the bowl. But he's trying to get shots on the Jaeger, or trying to get the Jaeger to come to a position where Marky can put a round up his rear. Okay, Marky's decided to go closer. Oh, that's the Viz. Puts one into his turret, gets a low roll for 638. He didn't know the Viz was there. So I suppose the Viz was waiting for somebody to appear. Then we got the Strip. And he's got, and that's 7 kills. 1 short of getting a Radley's now. And now the concrete gun carriage wants to play as well. Okay. Yes, there goes the Jaeger. That is a Radley's. I do love games like this, and thank you very much to Marky for sending it in. Just showing that this is an overwhelming OP tank destroyer. And he just nuked the enemy, and no wonder that concrete gun carriage wanted to get him. He just saw this thing and thought, uh-oh, there's a really good player on the other team. He's still got half his hit points. He's decided to go down to the beach because that's where he thinks the concrete gun carriage is. He might be in the chine, he might be on the beach. We're not absolutely certain. The Batchat can't see him, and he's very close to the enemy cap area. He should be able to see him if he was in the chine. Okay, we're going to see him in a short while. Well, we're not close enough to the edge of the map. If the Bosch didn't see him and he's on the cliff, he is in the chine, and the Batchat's found him. Okay, Concrete, goodbye. Oh dear, I've never been happier to see an Arty killed, but that guy did try to nuke Marky, and he paid for it. Well, big thanks to Marky for sending in this replay. It was an ace tanker in the 114 SP2. He managed to get a fire for effect for doing more damage to the hit points for his own vehicle, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 6. A duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him. A Radley Waters medal for getting 8 enemy kills in the game, as well as a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game. A tank sniper, or tanker sniper, for dealing the most damage at a distance of 300 meters or more, and a top gun for getting at least 6 kills. That was a very OP tank destroyer, to say the least. I think if you ever see one of these on the enemy team in a battle, be afraid, be very afraid. Let's have a look at team score. Well, it's not a surprise that he's top of the table because he managed 7,279 hit points. The next highest scorer was the T-57 heavy tank, who managed 3,466, and he didn't survive the battle. And the third highest scorer in this one was an AMX M454 on the enemy team, and I think Marky killed that guy with 2,697 hit points of damage. So he really did go to town on the enemy in this tank. He got the highest number of kills with 9, so basically he carried his team on his back, and at one time it did look like they were going to lose because they were outnumbered, and Marky was under assault by, well, 2 different tanks at the same time, the SP and the Viz-55, and also that Striv, who managed to get up, finally crawl up the chine to get up onto the cliff. But unfortunately, yes, Marky was quick enough to get the kill on him before he could do anything. He also got the highest base XP in that game. Yes, he got 1,453 base experience points. The next highest scorer only had 848, so he was the only player to get over 1,000. And after that, it was the Batchat 25 ton, who did survive the battle, 812, but left the last kill for Marky to take from very long range. And that, I think, helped him to get that tanker sniper. 19 shots fired, 19 direct hits. Every shot hit the target, but only 16 of them actually did do the job and penetrate. Yes, he did have a couple where they just didn't do what he expected. But then one of them was on a T5, or a heavy tank number 5, which, sorry, it was on the Type 5 heavy. Yeah, let's get it right there for a second. It was the Type 5 heavy that he actually hit, and he hit it in the wrong spot. Basically, you don't want to hit the front of a Type 5 heavy if you can help it. You want to hit the side on the shoulders. It's the easiest place to pen. 7,279 hit points of damage, of which 5,474 were at more than 300 meters. So overwhelmingly, this is a long-range sniper and very effective. 3 hits received from the enemy, 2 of them penetrated, 1 non-penetration. One of the ones that did penetrate was that Progetto 65, and I believe he did actually take 1 hit from, was it from the Viz-55? I'm going to have to look back through the replay to see who the other one was who actually did manage to get a pen. But he did receive 1 hit by way of splash damage from the Concorde gun carriage, but he did get his revenge in the end. 390 hit points of damage, blocked by armor, 1 enemy vehicle spotted, 10 enemy vehicles damaged, 9 killed, and 191 hit points of damage assistance. He earned 57,185 credits from the battle, 42,889 from personal missions payout, and after repair, ammunition, resupply, and consumables, took away a profit of 89,535 credits. 1,453 XP for the battle, times 2 for the first victory, 109 for this being a premium vehicle. You don't get much because it's a reward tank, and 327 for playing in a platoon, and 4,796 experience points altogether. So a really great battle. I'm sure you agree that this thing is so OP. Really, you wouldn't want to give it out to too many players, so they have to ration them to only the very best. So you have to play for them and get the reward. Let's have a quick look at the profile. Well, the turret, I did say, is quite strong. As you can see that here on this armored graphic. It's 135 millimeters impacted armor, but effective armor is 148 because it is kind of angled there at the front. The upper plate is 75 millimeters angled up to 96 because it's nicely angled. The lower plate, it's actually got two parts on that lower plate. You can actually see here, it's 80 millimeters angled to 115. Slightly lower down, it's 80 millimeters angled to 118 or near enough because it's got slight angle adjustment. I think actually it's very tiny, but anyway, you can see the sides of the vehicle, 75 millimeter. It does have that that spaced armor there, which is designed so that the shells will actually be deflected down into the tracks if they do go for the weak spots along the sides of the vehicle. So if you want to get a shell through the sides, you have to aim for just over the tracks and just underneath that spaced armor. Otherwise, it's not going to make it through. As I said, the turret up here, 90 millimeter angle to about 110. The sides are very flat, but it's only 75 millimeters, coming up to 77. It's very weak at the rear. It's only 30 millimeters angled to 31. There, it's 50 millimeters angled to 50. So yes, you've got one cupola that you can aim at if it's hull down. This thing does have 7 degrees of gun depression. 110 millimeters, effective armor 111. At tier 10, I think you should be able to get through that, not a problem. But then you should be able to get through the turret there, even with 120 millimeters. It's all about the angling as well. This is a turreted tank destroyer, so you can actually turn the turret. And if you do have this angled, you are going to get some benefit along the front here. Less benefit if it hits the sides. And of course you can see there you might get a ricochet if you angle it well enough, but this will still remain fairly strong. Okay, let's have a quick look at the live version. Live version, well, if you get hit by one of these shells, one of these very big 152mm shells, 650 alpha, yes, I think you are going to be taking some damage. So this is going to be a penetration on all of the front of this vehicle, so don't think you're invulnerable with this tank destroyer. You are going to take damage. So yes, you can snipe from long range. As you saw, he was getting those shots in, but he was almost looping them in some of the time. And if we move to the modules, unfortunately Wargaming still haven't supplied the module map, but we can make some guesses as to where some of the people are. The driver is central, right in the front of the vehicle, so yep, there's no guessing there because you just got the driver ports. Over here we've got this, which is a gunner's sight, so the gunner must be on this side of the vehicle. The loaders are going to be in the back, and it's more than likely going to be ammo racks in the back of the vehicle here. And we can tell, oh, spinning the turret all the way around, let's spin it back. We can tell that the commander must be in this cupola here, so we know where his location is. Other than that, we can't tell much. Maybe say that the engine is in the rear. It's going to be a standard configuration for a turreted tank destroyer. But yes, I think you can make guesses as to where everything is. So if you want to damage the gunner, try and aim from the front of the vehicle, and possibly you might, if you get the right spot, shoot the commander if the shell was to go miss the gunner and go straight the way through. You might have difficulty trying to get the driver, because if this vehicle is hull down, you're only going to be seeing that turret pointing towards you. And yes, with that 7 degrees of gun depression, you're not going to see a huge amount, because if he's looking at you and the plate is covered, yes, it's going to be pretty awesome having a 152mm round coming down from up on the cliff. And the Strib found that out to his cost. Thanks again to marke12 for supplying the replay. That was quite a battle, and I've never seen a replay with the 114 SP2 before, but I think I want to get one. Yeah, I think if I can get one of these, I would certainly have a whale of a time. Almost as much fun as the bassman from hell did in his Shrek. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.